York is known for its famous architecture, historic streets and independent shops. But now a collaborative project could be adding contemporary street art to that list. Brightening up the city's forgotten alleys and corners, artwork is popping up where you'd least expect it.
So this amazing pattern making area you see before us is by an artist called Static. So it's an artist duo originally from Scarborough, now based themselves out of East London. They've built major scale murals all around the UK and further afield, and I asked them to come up to put something in York, which was their home county, so they're quite pleased to come back and do that. The reason behind the actual murals themselves and why I'm doing it is actually part of a wider project that we want to bring to York. So I work on mural festivals and different murals all around the UK, but part of the project we want to do to sort of colour in York and bring a little bit more energy to it and look at the younger audiences that will be visiting York in the future.
On face value, the mural's bright colours and jagged shapes catch your eye, but behind it there's a deeper meaning.
I want to look at sustainability. So, for example, the blue pattern making we can see along the actual murals itself, that's all to do with the ocean, sustainability and single-use plastics. And the other murals you'll see popping up will also lend themselves to this direction and look at a more sustainable way of living.
Coney Street has become known for its high street being in decline, but it's hoped that this will bring a new lease of life to the well-known part of town.
The York bid has always said it wants to get involved in a little bit more street art in the city. Coney Street is obviously a street that's been talked about quite a bit recently. The fact that we've got a few vacant properties. The street itself could, some people say, could do with a bit of a splash of colour, and this has certainly done that. This kind of passageway itself has always been one which has been, you get a bit of antisocial behaviour down here. It didn't look particularly good, and so we just worked with the businesses to say, listen, do you think this would be a concept that you'd be happy with? This is the result. There's other areas of the city that, a bit like this passageway, are a little bit tired, and it's not only about bringing a splash of colour, but it's about actually, can we put it in areas that will maybe lead people to go down alleyways that they wouldn't go to.
And it's hoped that rejuvenating the high street will attract people of all ages.
This is a really well visited street in York, but there's so few people that ever stop because the way the high street is changing constantly at the moment and the amount of shops which are pulling away from it because it's going so far online. We want to find a way to reinvent it, and that has to be done through theatre and creativity. And I think street art is so well known across the whole of the world, and where I do it, and we know that through Instagram and Facebook, it brings people together, and the artists themselves have this vehicle and the ability to talk so widely to such a major community. And what we want to do is tap into that a little bit and sort of reinvent York and allow that younger audiences to feel like York is waking up, and it's not resting on its laurels of the beautiful Minster and the Clifford's Towers of the world. It's actually bringing something which is regenerating, and we want a home for the younger populations of York as well as the older ones.
But what is the difference between graffiti and street art?
Well, it's really interesting if we look at graffiti as what it is. Graph is a graphic design, and actually the element of that is a legal purpose. So when we look at tagging, it's because someone puts it up and they don't have long and they scribble their name quickly. That isn't a legal act. Whereas actual urban art or commissioned art, this takes time. So these are well-practiced artists who just have big wall specialisms about them.
It's hoped that the bright and colourful murals will become pathways for locals and tourists alike to explore the forgotten parts of York's High Street. And something tells me we'll be seeing more soon. Abby Walker, That's TV.